Hey, my friends. So a news story came across my feed a little while ago, and I thought I would bring it up to you and ask you, what would you do in this particular situation? So here's what happened. A TikToker, I don't know why that's important to point out. I guess just simply because she posted it to her TikTok, said that she was asked by an airline worker. She was on a flight, obviously, and she was asked to give up her first class, first row seat to a family who wanted to sit all together, specifically to move the child so that the family could sit together. Now, there's the heartstrings right there when they say child. You're like, oh, a child. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, of course. I mean, I would be not be happy about it, but I would move for a child to be with their family. Well, hang on. There's more to it. That woman doesn't need to get bashed, at least not in my opinion. So I fly every single month, and that's it, technically why I wanted to bring this to you, because I have to be really honest with you. I get so irritated and annoyed, not at the flight attendants for asking, because they apparently have to do that at times. But the situation, the passengers who do this, I get so annoyed when the airline attendant comes around and asks if you're willing to give up your seat so that people could be together. Now, am I being bitchy? Maybe somebody will say yes, absolutely, that, it's not a big deal. Just get up and move. But you know what? It is a big deal in the grand scheme of things. No, in the small scheme of things, not the grand scheme of things, please. But I pay for my seat. I pay to sit in a certain seat or area. I like the aisle seat, and I like to be up front because, yes, I want to get off sooner. So I pay for that. I pay for that option to be able to do that. And then you have these people who just show up willy-nilly.
You can't just change the charter willy-nilly.
Don't pay for their seats, and they figure, oh, we'll just let them deal with it. We'll let the airline attendants deal with it. And flight attendant, airline. What do I keep saying? Airline attendant? Doesn't matter. You know what I mean. And so they don't care. They're like, whatever, it'll be somebody else's problem. And they just assume that people are going to bend over backwards and, move and adjust for them getting their free seats that we paid for. So it's a no for me. And that's pretty much exactly what this woman said. Her name's Sabrina. And she said, that's a no for me, dog. Would you have given up your seat? And this is her, her post, her talking. I'm going to share it. At least I think I am. It's not showing up on here. I'm reading my phone. But if it shows up, I'll put it in here for you.
Girl, fuck them kids and you.
Oh, so anyhow, so she said no, and that they ended up finding a solution. So no, I'm not a terrible human being. And also, the child was 13. This wasn't a little baby. This wasn't a toddler, a 6-year-old, a 7-year-old, or even a 10-year-old. This was a 13-year-old, who probably would have been really glad to be away from his or her parents for a couple hours for a flight and just be able to play on their, I don't know, whatever they do. I don't know what teenagers do anymore. But yeah, so that's that. That's my thoughts on it. I would like to know yours. Will you give up your seat for a family who wants to sit together and didn't plan? Well, I guess I'm adding layers here. So I guess if I just leave it at, would you give up your seat for another passenger so that they could sit with the people that they're flying with? Or would you be like me and what was her name? Sabrina, me and Sabrina, who say, I'm sorry, but no, you should have planned better. It's set up so that you can plan for these things. So I call it laziness. I call it cheaters, basically, that, you're trying. I know the game because I've sort of kind of done the game. I've flown a couple of times, and not purchased my seat and gone up. And so it's actually, I'm not even playing a game. It's not a trick or anything like that. It's just a hope that I'll be lucky. But I don't wait till I'm on the plane. I go up to the desk there at the gate, and I say I didn't purchase my seat. Can I either purchase one now, or or see what you have available? And I take my chances occasionally. Very rarely will I do that. And actually, every time that I've done, I've been very lucky. But nobody had to move for me. No one was ejected from their seat or asked to move. They gave me a seat that was already empty, that wasn't claimed. So it was just luck and coincidence that it worked out that way. Well, not coincidence, luck. I don't know, whatever. But I also went in knowing full well that I could have been at the back of the plane, that was a possibility, and I was taking that chance. And I wasn't going to, if that happened, I would have just sucked it up and dealt with it and been bummed out and learned my lesson that, well, guess what? Buy your seat if you want a good seat. So, yeah. So that's my opinion on it. Do you agree or disagree? Are you giving up your seat? I can tell you I'm definitely not. Nope. Unless they want to put me in first class. If they want to put me up in front, if they want to give me an upgrade, okay, then you got a deal. But I'm not downgrading. I would consider same grading if you move me just a couple of rows. So there's conditions. Okay. There's conditions where I would say yes. But if you're gonna put me, actually I will finish what her thing said, because I remember now, I just read it. They offered to move her to the back of first class. So so she was at the very beginning seats of first class, and they were offering to move her to the back part. So it was like probably just the line before economy class, I guess, starts, or coach. I don't remember what they call it anymore. So, and she still said no, and I don't blame her. I don't blame her. She paid for what she paid for. She planned in advance, and they did not, and that shouldn't be her problem. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. What do you think? Let me know in the comments.